All right, I am live Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, bonus session 6. As you join me live, please say hello in the live chat below. Let me know who's here, who's watching lives. Let me know where you're joining from. Also, let me know how has all this challenge been for you so far. As you join me, what were your biggest takeaways? We have covered a lot of stuff during the past 5 days. What stood out for you the most? What changed within you? What kind of awareness did you gain this time? If this was your first, second, or third, how was this for you? Every time you're watching it, you're expanding. What that expansion looked like for you? What did you hear differently? Put it in the chat below. I would love to read all of your comments because at the end of the day, this is what I'm here for you. I want to see how is this information, this knowledge transforming you? How is it changing you in real time? I can't believe it's day 6. One more day to go. And before I start tonight, I want to acknowledge you. Most people do not make it this far. Most people start, but very few finish. And you are here. You're still showing up, either live or by watching the replay. Still growing, and that tells me something. It tells me that there's a part of you that knows that you are meant for more. That knows that you're meant for more. And it feels so good to say it. I am meant for more. I want to begin tonight's session with something that Bob Proctor showed me. Something that changed my life forever. Something that I will always remember. Bob Proctor had an hourglass. And he will often take this hourglass in our sessions, and he will say, this is not just an object. This is your life. And he would say, look at the bottom. That sand that has already fallen, that is your past. Every year you have already lived. Every decision you have already made. Every moment that has already passed, you cannot reach and pull it back. It is gone forever. And then he would point to the top of the hourglass. And he would say that sand on the top, that is your future. But here's the thing. You cannot see how much is left. You assume there is a half left. You assume that you have 30, 40, 60 more years. But you do not know. In fact, nobody knows. And he told me a story about a set of twins, 16-year-old twins. They had a massive fight with their parents one night before they went to a party. They stormed out of the house, and one of them never came back home. A car crash. That night, at 16-year-old, that twin assumed that the top of his hourglass, he had a lot of sand left. But that was not the truth. And then Bob Proctor would point in this narrow little part right here where the sand is falling through the bottom. And he would say, That right there, that is the present moment. That is the only part of this hourglass you have any control over. Not the bottom, not the top, right here, right now. Only right now, the present moment. He looked at my eyes one day and said, Vesna, it's later than you think. And I want to say that to you tonight. It's later than you think. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to create a panic within you. I'm saying this to wake you up. Because the greatest strategy in life is not failure. The greatest strategy in life is arriving at the end of your life and realizing that you did have the sand on the top, you had the time, and you spent it waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right moment to appear, waiting for someone to give you a permission. And tonight, I am giving you that permission. Tonight, we are going to talk about the exact system, the exact formula, and the exact support structure that will allow you to stop waiting and start becoming the person you were always meant to be. Over the last 5 days, I have given you the exact framework to change your paradigm. We talked about day 1 for how to create a C-type goal. Second day, we looked at the stick person, how the mind operates, what are the limiting beliefs that are running your life, and how to change them. We talked about the invisible wall of fear. And now you know what you need to do. But I have to be brutally honest with you today. Knowing is not enough. Knowing is not enough. Look around your life. Look around your industry. Look at the people that you know. You see people who are brilliant. They have the degrees. They have read all the books. They have attended all the seminars. They know exactly how to build a business. They know exactly how to sell, how to market, how to lead, but they're still broke. They're stuck and they're exhausted. Why is that, you ask? Because of what Bob Proctor called the knowing doing gap. We all know what to do, but we don't know what we don't know. We don't necessarily are doing it. Every single person has that moment. I know what I do, what I need to do. But when it comes down to moving into action, you still procrastinate. And that is why. Because your conscious mind gathers all the information. You can read the library, but your subconscious mind, your paradigm is what dictates the action. And if nothing changes internally, if that paradigm doesn't changes, nothing will change on the external world. Your results will stay the same. Every year, over and over, will look exactly the same, period. So let me simplify this for you. If you want more money, better life, whatever that more looks like for you, then you have to change. Because you cannot create new reality with the same identity, with the same habits, with the same belief systems that created your current reality. Albert Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over but expecting different results is the definition of insanity. What does that tell you? You have to come from a new place of awareness, from new way of thinking, from the goal achieved. Right now, you're not earning your current income because that is what you want to earn. You are earning it because that is what your current paradigm know how to earn. And you and I both know you're capable for more than that. So you do need to change your current mindset. But you cannot see your own blind spots from inside your current paradigms. You need someone who can see you from a higher level of awareness until you are able to see it for yourself. So let me play a little short video, and Bob himself will tell you why you need somebody to change from where you at to where you want to be. Let me put this video on for you.
A question that I'm asked everywhere I go, I've traveled all over the world, is it important to have a mentor? Well, I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life.
Before I met Bob Proctor, I was running a thriving law practice, and I had what most people thought of as real success. But from time to time, I'd think about doing something different. And then one day, I found myself in a Bob Proctor seminar, and I decided right then and there, I wanted to do what this man was doing. I wanted to be in his inner circle. And I wanted to create a program with him to bring to the executives and the directors and the companies that I'd been working with for over the last 2 decades. This was a big change, and I am so grateful I had Bob Proctor to be my mentor as I went through this big transition. Bob says that having a mentor changed the course of his life. Well, having Bob as my mentor changed the course of my life. It's very easy to get into a routine in life, to do the same thing over and over. I have come to learn that every day can be an exciting adventure, but we have to make it that way, and to do that, we have to stretch. We have to set aside limitations and follow our dream. Now I am Bob Proctor's business partner and co-founder of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Like Bob, mentors have changed the course of my life, and they can change the course of your life too.
Let's take a look at what thinking into results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich, I was studying Earl Nightingale's material, but a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material, and they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. Now, don't get the idea that I think school isn't important. I think school is vitally important. I see study and school as being almost sacred. It's very important. But I couldn't figure out why I won, and so I started to study. I was very curious. It took me 9.5 years, and I got the dots to connect. That was after working with 3 or 4 phenomenal mentors. And when I got the dots to connect, all I wanted to do was teach it. And that's all I've been doing. And then I run into a young lady who is my business partner today, Sandy Gallagher. And she put together a master plan. And to cut a long story short, she said, Bob, I've studied everything that you teach. I know exactly what you know. I want to make a program. And she would get me in front of a camera and she'd say, explain this. And so I would. And then explain that. And she put together one of the most comprehensive programs I believe that you'll ever find anywhere in the market. Do you know with this program, you can change everything in your life in a matter of months? See, we're born and raised with the idea that it takes a long time to accomplish something. You can accomplish, bang, just like that. You don't go from A to B, you can go from A to G just like that with thinking into results. Do you see, what she's done is take the very best out of my mind that I have studied and practiced for the last 50 years, and you get it in a program with 12 short, powerful lessons and an action planner that'll spin your head around on a dime. You can walk away from this and you can say, well, this isn't for me. Or you can say, I'm going to do this. And you know, in 6 months, you're going to need a telescope to look back and see where you started. I believe it's the most powerful program you can ever lay your hands on, because you not only learn why you win, you learn why you're not doing what you really want to do, and then, bang, how to change it.
I did create that program that I set out to create after I first saw Bob Proctor in that seminar, and that program is Thinking into Results. I wanted to help people get out of their own way. As an attorney, I saw many brilliant people getting stuck. Despite all their diplomas and credentials, they weren't getting the results that they wanted and they didn't know why. I created Thinking into Results with Bob to show executives and entrepreneurs and employees worldwide how to get the results they wanted by thinking in a certain way. Our objective is to get thinking into results in every home because it helps the young and the old alike expand their horizons and live their dreams.
If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into Results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said, or what Sandy Gallagher may have said, really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant on this page. Hit the button, leave the information. Do yourself a favor. Sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life, and you'll enjoy it forever.
Yeah, this could be very well the best decision of your life that can change your life for the best. Let me know in the chat, what was your biggest takeaway from that? You know, Bob taught this program, taught these teachings for about 70 years. And he didn't just create this knowledge, he adopted it. He didn't reinvent the wheel. He just organized in the most beautiful program, Thinking into Results, that transformed lives worldwide. And I'm going to share some interviews in a little bit with you to see how that looks like. So I don't share this with you today because I do not want to just share some information. I share this with you today because I live this. I'm sharing this from my own experience. A few years ago, I was completely exhausted by life. I was working a 9-to-5 jobs, taking care of the children, doing the chores, everything that any business mama or a woman can do. And no matter how hard I worked, the results were not changing for me. not financially, not emotionally, not spiritually. I was also stuck in a very toxic marriage at the time. And one day at work, I remember feeling completely defeated. I almost fell to my knees. I looked up and I said, God, there has to be something more than this. I felt it in every part of my body. I knew I was meant for more, but I could not see it a way out. No evidence, no plan, no solution, just pain and a deep burning desire for a different life. And I remember the next thing I did was I sat on my desk and I put up some YouTube. I was looking for Tony Robbins because at that time I only knew for Tony Robbins, motivational speaker. And then Bob Proctor appeared. I didn't know who was Bob at the time. The moment I heard him speak, something happened inside of me. My body all perked up. My attention locked on him. And I listened to him for days. For days. And then, eventually, in one of the videos, there was an invitation to book a call with one of his consultants. So I took the chance and I booked a call. On that call, the consultant asked me, what do I truly want? And for the first time in a long time, I spoke my truth. I said, I want to help people. I want to build a transformational program that can help the world. I said, I want to make an impact. And the consultant said, why would you want to build it alone? We already have built it for you. I was so excited to hear that until he told me the investment was $30,000. I almost fell off my chair. And I said, I would love to do this, but I don't have that type of a money. Sorry. And what happened next, I will never forget. He looked at me and said, Vesna, you do not need to have the money to make a decision. And that was the sentence that changed my life. Up until that moment, I thought people made their decisions after they had certainty, after they had the money, after they had the proof, after they knew how. But he said, if this is truly what you want, the money will show up, the money will be organized. But first, you have to make a decision. And your decision has to be a committed decision. And I remember I took a breath and something inside of me knew he was right. My way of thinking had not produced the life I wanted. Their results, they spoke louder than my fear. So I decided to trust the process. And in that moment, I made the committed decision. I was willing to bet on myself without knowing the how. And then something incredible happened. My mind immediately switched to a different frequency, and suddenly ideas started to come to me. That decision that I made, it became the GPS coordinates for my reticular activating system. And it started thinking, pondering every possible solution, how I can find the money. Once I decided, the first thing it came to my mind is to ask my husband at the time for support. Before I made that decision, I would never had the courage to ask him for money. But something in me had changed in that moment. And I did ask. First, he complained. And then the next day, he came up to me and he said, okay, I'm going to give you the half. And this is what happened next. That exact same day or the next day, I received a letter in the mail from a credit company that I applied. And I got approved. Do you know how much I got approved? For exact same amount I needed it to cover the other half. That is the synchronicity. That is when you truly want something and you make the decision, the universe aligns itself to bring you the solution. That moment felt impossible. I knew it was coming from a higher place than myself. But the moment I made the decision, changed everything. Within few months, I got my first client, then the second, then the third, and I have earned the investment back. And that single decision completely changed my life. Today, because of that decision, I get to live my purpose. I get to create the impact that I always wanted to create. And this work also gave me the strength and the clarity to leave that toxic relationship peacefully and powerfully. And it happened exactly how I wrote it down on my goal card. Exactly. That is the power of the subconscious mind when you make a committed decision and when you go fully after that. I'm sharing this with you because you are far more powerful than you have ever been conditioned to believe. You do not need the entire staircase before taking the first step. You just need a committed decision. Because when you truly decide, your identity changes, your frequency changes, and your reality begins reorganizing itself around that exact decision. But here's the truth. Transformation is not just about information. Most people already know what to do. The problem is they cannot consistently apply it long enough to create a permanent change. That is why environment matters. That is why mentorship matters. My mentor told me very clearly, you cannot see your own blind spots from inside your current paradigm. I needed someone who can see me from a higher level of awareness until I was able to see it for myself. A mentor compresses time. They help you avoid years of confusion, self-sabotage, trial and errors. That's what mentors do. So let me play a short little video for you to see what is possible when you decide to go after this dream, when you decide to get a mentor, to get the system that guarantees your results. Let me put up that slide for you.
Self-image.
My name is Marie Basinga. I'm from Southern California. I'm 46 years old, and I'm a physical therapist.
My name is John Basinga. I'm a marketing director with World Financial Group.
Thinking into result has helped me in a lot of ways because it increased my awareness in a lot of things. With thinking into results, it just brings you to, oh, you're not there yet. There's a lot of things more to achieve.
Thinking into results helped me in my mindset, basically, my attitude toward things, the belief that I have for myself and my self-image.
It's kind of like chaotic in a way because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm a physical therapist and then I own a residential care facility for the elderly. I don't have really a direction. Thinking into results helped me decide on what I really want, what my goal is, what do I really want to pursue in life. I think that's the best thing that this program has helped me.
And the same thing for me, with my goal setting. That's the thing that, I wasn't really focused on before. Basically goal setting and then achieving the goals that you want. And basically setting goals that are basically fantasy for me. Because before I used to set goals that I can achieve, but now I'm trying to set goals that are, kind of like a fantasy for me. Something that, it's hard to achieve. That's something that I want.
It increased my awareness about myself. It improved my self-confidence, my self-image, changes everything in my perspective. So I think those are the things that changed me with this program.
Me too. It's the self-confidence, it's the belief, things that, I wasn't thinking that I can do before, has changed my self-image because before I used to focus on my current results and now I don't focus on that anymore. I focus on what I want.
I think it's accountability. Because we're in the same program, I think what really helped us is that when somebody is not on the right track, we just kind of like correct, not correct, but remind the other person, I remind him and he reminds me that TIR, thinking into results, that we need to make a decision and we have to be in the same page.
Yeah, and also, when we have adversities in life, we always go back to the lessons that we learn in thinking the results. It could be from, we need to set the right goals for for the next 10 years, right? Or it's, sometimes it's the thinking into results, right? Or sometimes it's the, what lesson is that? Power of praxis, aligning your belief with behavior. So we always go back. It's kind of like, it built like a foundation for us when we have adversities that's going on in our family's life.
Just reminding each other about the mental faculties that we need to focus on instead of the different sensory factors that is all over in this world, trying to tell you to react instead of responding. So I guess that's one of the things that really helped us too.
So it helped a lot because, when I started a program thinking into results, I started attracting the right people in my business. Before, because my thoughts was like, I'm not good enough. I think I'm not the right leader for my team. But after changing my thoughts about that, adding self-belief in myself, changing my self-image, I think the results actually really flourish. Because right now I'm attracting the right people. I'm not attracting the right people in my business as well.
I think it's the same way. Like thinking of what you want, what kind of people you want to attract. I think that's because I also help him in our business, in our World Financial Group business, and I think that really helped us attract a lot of good people, and even talk to them and interact with them in a way that we're keeping in mind the right perspective and everything. And I think that's great. With my son, it's amazing because my son is he's 21 years old, and he's going for aerospace engineering in Cal State Long Beach. And what I really, because I'm sharing it with him, whatever I learn here, I'm sharing it with him. And he always tells me, one time he was in the airplane and he was telling me about he wants to have a window seat, and he didn't get a window seat. He was in the middle of the airplane, and he said, and he was thinking like, I want a window seat. And then finally at the end he got the window seat, and he just called me and texted me, Mom, thinking into results. Like, he was thinking that whatever you, even in school, he was whatever he was telling me about it, that like whatever he thinks, it happens, or whatever he visualizes, it happens.
Yes, also, we have a son who's 4 years, turning 4 by January. And, what I can teach him right now is just by setting good examples for him. Because I remember when you told me this paragraph before, what you can't fix, your kids can will inherit. So basically, I just want to set, the right examples for my kids. I think for me, it's the attitude. That's the magic word, right? The attitude. Because, in everything that you do in life, it's all about your attitude. It's all about how you look, how you see things. Because whatever you, attitude, whatever you think is going to be your feelings. Whatever you're feeling is going to be your action, and that determines your attitude. I think for me, that's my the best lesson that I learned from TIR.
I think it's the same, the attitude. Like, it's whatever we how do we respond to certain situations or adversities in life, or if we are setting the right goals and something is just there and trying to block whatever we want to achieve, then the right attitude will just come in, and we're gonna be able to trample that terror barrier. Every lesson that we learned in every week that we were in the program, I think is vital. And earlier you were saying what's important, and I think everything is important. Every part of it is important.
Yes, as you know, in our business, there's a lot of ups and downs. And before, we used to focus a lot on the downs. So let's say we got, a chargeback, or let's say we have a team member that quits. We always focus on that. But since after thinking the results, now we focus on what we can do, right, to move forward. So that really helped a lot in our business. And moving forward, with our goals, with our business, we're on track to hitting that goals that we want for our business as well.
And I think it also kind of, in a way, with our associates, what happened is that we also infected them of how we our attitude. I think it's the same way. Like, we share with them whatever we're learning from the program.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing.
When I first started the program, I used to vape, right? So personally, that's one of the biggest achievement that I've done when I started the program. I think it was the first month when I started the program. And I used to vape a lot. I used to vape for 4 years, and I've been trying to quit, and then it never really worked. So with this program, it helped me a lot to basically make a decision on quitting the vaping. And instead of thinking about quitting it, I changed my thoughts to being grateful. Not grateful, by saying the words, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in the best shape of my life. I breathe deeply. I exercise on a daily basis. So that helped out a lot when it comes to quitting my vaping.
It's difficult to know what your paradigm is until you really dig into yourself, become aware of it. I think that thing makes you think every day. If you go on lessons every day, I think that really helps you see, this is the thing that I need to change. This is the thinking that I need to have so that the results will change.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really been going back and forth is that lesson 2 and lesson 3 about the paradigm.
Yes, knowing and doing gap, that's huge, right? Especially in our business, you know, because in our business, they train us a lot. A lot of people get trained, but the problem is they're just, you know, educated. But the problem on that one is the doing, you know, the gap between the knowing and doing gap, right? So if we were able to like just like cut the gap and start doing, then the results are gonna be a lot different.
I think the gap is the wrong thinking or the paradigm that you have. So you have to really dig into yourself, become more aware of yourself, and I think that's gonna lead you to the doing.
Yes. I think it's not, it doesn't make sense for you not to do this. And let me rephrase that. You know, I think you should do this program because it's going to add value to you. It changed my mindset a lot. It changed how I look at things. It changed my attitude. So I think this program is really worth it to all the people that I know. That's why I keep referring people to you as well.
I think it will increase value and awareness to one person. One thing that really amazed me is that when people see our growth, I think that's the thing that I think that's the measure of how will people value this program. Because if they knew what we were doing, then they will say, "What are you doing? How come you have a big change in your growth?" Or so one of our associates just decided to do it because he saw the growth in our business and he saw the growth in us. So I guess that's the selling point, or that's how we can share thinking into results to other people.
He's amazing, man. His teaching is just out of this world. I think it all makes sense. And I've listened to some of the people who are talking about, you know, self-development and all that stuff. And most of them actually, I think they got it from Bob, or I think they got it from the book Think and Grow Rich. But the way Bob explains things makes more sense for me. Yeah.
I always think that when I read books or listen to any podcast about self-development, I always think about Bob Proctor, even though the speaker is different, because it's the same thing. But I like the way Bob is explaining everything and sharing the information. And this program really is like a concise way of, if you're gonna read the Think and Grow Rich, I think this is a concise way of learning and developing yourself.
Yeah, and he's been doing this he's what, 84? He's 84.
60 years. He said that he's been reading the Think and Grow Rich for 60-something years.
So I think he's the best person to listen to.
Yes.
When it comes to, you know, teachings. Our life is awesome. Our life is 100% amazing.
Yes. Our life is awesome.
And it's just the beginning.
Exactly.
All right. Real people, real results, real lives that have been transformed by doing exactly this work. And none of these people were special. None of them had advantages that you don't have. The only difference between them and where they were before. It's this decision. They simply made a decision, a committed decision to change the paradigm. That's it. Committed decision. So if something inside of you has been waking up this week, if part of you is realizing, I cannot go back and living the same way I used to, then listen to that. Because your spirit, your future is trying to get your attention. And today, I'm inviting you to book that breakthrough call with me. Let's talk about your vision. Let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about your fears and your next level. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stop trying to figure it out all alone. In the end, your future will not be determined by your wishes. It will be determined by your decisions. What are you deciding today when the opportunity is knocking on your door? Think about it. You have tried for years. What are your results? And what do you look 6 months from now, your life will look like? A year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. How will your life look like if nothing changes? Everyone needs this. Absolutely everyone. And this is not information. This is knowledge. Knowledge, organized, specialized knowledge, sacred knowledge that speaks to your spirit, that speaks to your soul, that is able to transform you from inside out. It's by applying the laws of the universe. And when you apply with the laws of the universe, your results are guaranteed. Because it's the law. So do not sit on the sideline anymore. Do not let fear hold you back. Successful people are not fearless, but they're decided. Decide to take control of your life today. So I'm inviting you to book that call. The link is in the description here in this YouTube video, and also in the email, and it's also in the portal, and I will post it in the WhatsApp group. Click it, find a time to book your call, and show up for yourself. This is my gift to you. The sand in the hourglass is falling. You do not know how much is left. Stop waiting and decide. And I hope to see you tomorrow with another powerful lesson on the self-image, the person you have to become in order to achieve your goal. I thank you so much for all of you for being here tonight, watching live, showing up for yourself. You wouldn't be here if there's something inside of you didn't want it to be here. Your soul's searching for more. Listen to that. Okay, you did not attract this on accident. You attracted this for a reason. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank you, Tracy. Have a blessed night, and I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In my opinion, it is the most powerful lessons of all. So be there. Have a great night. Thank you.